Yeah, obviously it means a lot just to race that car with that number. And, for whatever reason, the 3 years, or I feel like we've ran it between the 4 drivers, we just haven't been able to get into victory lane. So it was definitely special to win a race in that fashion, with kind of having everything work out for us there. Kind of not working out for us before that, caution with whatever 5 or so laps left, and then, had the flat spot and pitted, and did not think that I would be getting to this point right here. So, no, really cool, and got to talk to Rick and Linda there before pulling in victory lane, and you could just hear how proud they were to see that car in victory lane. So it just means a lot, and like you mentioned, this is the 40th season, 40th anniversary season for Hendrick Motorsports. So maybe it was all that heartbreak that we've all lived through the last few years with this car. It was just meant to be, this season. So hopefully, when William, Alex, and Chase can get in it, or when I'm in it again later in the year, we can keep winning in it. So it's always fun. It's a fun group of guys. It's fun to get to work with Greg Ives. He's got a big sense of humor and keeps things light. So I always enjoy getting to run this car. Craziest win? Oh, Trophy Cup 2013 comes to mind, but you guys have to look that up. So, but no, it was crazy because, I restarted 20th or so at the restart or 2 restarts before the end, and knew I was going to need a caution. So I was just trying to pick my way through cleanly. I didn't want to get damage, just so if we did get a caution, I could hopefully line up around where we did, and it all just kind of worked out, and just knew I had an advantage on tires, so to try to be methodical and patient, kind of getting through the field, but also not let those guys get too far away. So it just worked out.
Steven Stump, Frontage.com. Kyle, can you kind of walk through that last lap when you were running in third right behind the 21 and 97? They had gotten into each other on the restart. They obviously got into each other again. Can you kind of explain how you were trying to size them up, or like when to make a move?
Yep. So on the restart, I was in the outside lane and got to the bottomish lane, and I could see that the 21 was kind of shoving. At least from my view, it looked like he was shoving the 97 through the corner. They all ended up way out there, and I was happy about that. Not that he shoved him out of the way, but that the 21 was going to be kind of a jam car, because I think if SVG got out to lead, I would have never had an opportunity to catch up and win. So, when he got to lead, I was like, okay, that's good. It's going to keep the field kind of choked up a little bit to give me a shot. And then, just kind of worked out where I got to third, I think, coming to the white flag. And, I was hoping to be close anywhere, really, so I could try and pass, Shane. But when it got down to, like, turn 12, I was just, 1.5 car lengths back. And I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to drive in here and get to his inside or anything. So I just need to keep being patient. I was trying to tell myself to keep being patient throughout that final lap, and hopefully, there would be some sort of payback, and that's what happened. He got to the stadium and kind of shoved him through 15 into 16, and they both washed up a lot, and I just had a nice angle and gripping my tires to clear them on exit, and just from then on, just try to just not, get overly excited and screw up the gap that I had.
Thank you.
Bob, then Zach.
Bob Hawkers, Fox Sports. What did you think of where the restart zone was located, and considering that you had restart in all sorts of different areas, like did you feel like you were at a huge disadvantage having to kind of start and then drive through a turn, like when you were starting in the back?
No, even when I restarted 20th, it all felt fine. Like it was kind of fun in a way, because you could, you still had to think about the corner. Like when you're back there, you're not really thinking about the restart zone. You're just thinking about making the corner and trying to set up the guy in front of you, get momentum and all that. So that was nice. People wanted to be in the left lane, so that lane would get the longest, and you could kind of go, choose the right lane. And, like for the last restart, I restarted 10th, but I was 9th, and was able to get clear down the front stretch by the time we exited the restart zone. So, that was a gamble, to take the right lane. But, if you can work your angles right, through turn 20, you could make it work. So I liked it. I liked it where it was at. I felt like it spread it out just a little bit, but you also still had the dive bombs and all that too. So I'm not sure how it looked from TV, but I thought it was in a good spot there.
And then in Cup practice and qualifying, there was a lot of dirt there in turn 8, but maybe it didn't seem like there was as much in the Xfinity race. So I'm curious, is there something about the Cup car that makes it better when you run through there, or do the Xfinity guys just not? Can you kind of explain why it's different?
Yeah, I don't know. It was still super dirty there for sure. It had more grip for whatever reason today than it did yesterday in Xfinity practice. But I think the like where we run our right sides off has gotten so deep that, now it's kind of, it can mess your balance up through there. So I think now people might shade more to just trying to be on the paint, but underneath the rumble strip. So I don't know. I just wish they would put something there, a turtle, a cone, like it's not a cone, but like something that's you can't hit it or you can't go over it without, losing time. I think it gets way too dirty through there. It looks dumb that we're cutting the track and all that. So, I wish we could just put something, right at the apex, just, below the rumble strips, and it would fix everything over there. Don't refill it. Yeah, just let it keep getting deeper, I guess. If they're not going to do anything, don't refill it.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Kyle, congratulations on the win. The battle you had earlier in the race between yourself, AJ, and SVG, you guys were really fiercely swapping positions there. What are you seeing from SVG in those moments? Because this is obviously his first time in one of these cars on a road course. What were you seeing from him, and what was going through your head during those battles?
Well, he's just better than us, for one. He's just way better than we all are at this. Like he's like AJ's a level up from me, and he's a level up from AJ. So I got too caught up in the moment of like having fun there. I should have just forfeited the spot and realized that we were racing time at that moment and not really. I shouldn't have been racing him. I wanted to get to the lead, and then when that didn't kind of work out, and he kind of surprised me, Shane did, when he got to my right side off of 13. I didn't know that he was there. And then he surprised me again when he got to my left side because I thought he was still out there on the right side. So then I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. I'm just going to race him. We're going to have some fun here. And then AJ got out. I'm like, man, I just screwed myself because we were getting ready to come to the green flag stop. And if I could have just settled into third, I would have been, call it at least a second closer probably to AJ when we pitted, and I would have beat them off pit road and been controlling the restart when we got past the stage. But honestly, that probably all didn't matter because our car was not very good on the short runs. I was just struggling for grip. So I would have got 8 up probably and, would have struggled trying to maintain a fast pace. So it all obviously worked out. We're sitting here, but it was fun racing him. He's just better. He's just way better than all of us. He can create grip. He can do things with angles and really be confident. Kind of poking his nose in spots. At least it seems he's more confident with all that than I am. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun when you get to race around a guy that is that good because you learn every time. So it was fun to see him and fun to see AJ and him have a little bit of a battle there. So he's way better than all of us on this stuff.
Any additional questions for Kyle? All right, we'll go back to Rob over there.
Kyle, just kind of curious. I know the Xfinity and Cup cars are going to differ, but how much did you learn today that can be applied to tomorrow, given the track conditions and just the tire strategies involved?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think there's like a ton that I might have learned. The Cup car today felt way more gripped up than the Xfinity car does here. The pace is way faster. brake markers and stuff are similar, but the 8-9 exchange, the car feels different. The car feels different in all the areas where you cut corners. Like the Xfinity car, I think, because it seems to be higher off the ground. Like it doesn't bottom out like in 19 or 7, 9 quite as much as the Cup car does. So yeah, just the Cup car responds way different. So I'm not sure there's much I could learn from today, but learn where some bumps and stuff are, for restarts, things like that. I mean, there's always something that you learn, but the Cup cars and Xfinity cars just don't translate, like they used to.
Go over there to Chris.
Chris Knight, KHS.com. Kyle, you ran 3 Xfinity races last year. This was your first of 2024. It's a stacked field as far as drivers. Did you notice anything coming from the back to the front about how close the competition is and how stacked the field was?
Not really. No, I mean, it's, I don't mean this to knock Xfinity drivers, but like, it's not really that stacked, or at least it's hard to judge because I don't feel you can judge because they don't allow enough Cup guys to run in the field, like we used to. So although, yes, when you're watching Xfinity guys versus Xfinity guys, it can look stacked, but it's not really that stacked. So I wish that they would open it up more. I know we would run the 17 car a lot more probably if they would let us, because with the Dash for Cash races, the playoff races, the one race before the playoff race, there's really not a whole lot of races we can run. So, I feel like you can't judge an Xfinity driver anymore. So, it didn't seem that, stacked in my opinion, coming through. Like Ty Gibbs, I mean, he cruised right through the field. We were, slower getting through, but it was fine. But, and that's not knocking them. Like I think if they had Cup drivers to compete against, they would all become great, and be ready for the Cup Series. But you just don't get that anymore. So, I wish they would open it up, but they probably won't.
All right, Kyle, appreciate your time. Thank you. Congrats again.
Thanks.